concept was created with the hope of providing knowledge to people to learn how to survive in the current times we are in. You know, the difference between people who are succeeding and those who are not is what they know. What you know determines what life you will live. So if you don't have access to the right knowledge, you'll be missing out with what is trending now. Lately, it's been said that the year 2023 is going to be a year of a tough time for the society. People keep wondering what can be done in the times we are in. So we put up this conference to bring up speakers who have experience to share with the youth and upcoming society of what can be done so that you survive the times we are in. I mean, all is not lost. What we lack is the knowledge of how to survive the times we are in. So we came together to form a conference whereby we are combining motivation with empowerment and networking. Because we believe that these are the three basic things that one needs to succeed in any field they find themselves. When you have the right network to support you, you will definitely succeed. If you have the right empowerment to know about the finances, how to raise finances, things to do, the kind of businesses to do now, the kind of businesses to invest into, and the current times we are in, you come out hopeful. So this conference is just to give hope to people that it is still possible to make it in the times that we are in.
So what sets your conference apart from the other ones that have been held in the past? What makes this different? How is this going to impact people?
What makes ours different is that we are providing mentorship as an option as well. So with the motivation is with regards to the fact that if you follow someone who has already achieved success in the field you are interested in, it's a form of mentorship. So after the conference, we'll be launching our mentorship class, whereby those who join the class will have access to speakers, the speakers on this platform, and other speakers that will be brought on board regularly to help them develop their ideas and guide them throughout the year. So the conference doesn't end today. It's just the beginning of other things to happen. So whoever comes for the conference and signs up to the mentorship class will receive guidance and support right throughout the whole year until they're able to make something for themselves. That's what we are bringing as a different thing. It's not just going to be the usual talking, and then you go out. No, there's going to be follow-ups, monitoring to see how you've made progress from today. So those who came, they filled the form, and some we asked them areas that they want to develop. So based on the information they provided, we are going to use that to communicate to them and provide them support in those areas. So the conference is just the beginning of other great things to happen.
Thank you for your time.
I'm Daniel Fari from J&J, and looking at the speakers for this program, such as Professor Prof. Stephen A.G., I'm expecting to be highly educated because he's a very prominent person, and also I'm expecting to be motivated.
My name is Justina Isel. I'm from the Ghana Institute of Journalism. And as the theme depicted, I'm here to be motivated, to be empowered, and also to network with other people. I believe that the speakers have a great wealth of knowledge, and I'm also here to learn from their experience and also learn from the knowledge they will share. Thank you.
Our next speaker who will be speaking on leadership and parenting, taking a leadership role in financial management, is popularly known as Counselor Adofoli. Renowned counselor, alternative dispute resolution practitioner, conflict expert, conference speaker, motivator, and an author. He has more than 10 years of progressive experience in counseling and conflict management with remarkable effect and feedback. He is the CEO of the Marriage Consult Limited. He has helped hundreds of couples and individuals with mental and emotional issues, relationships, and marriages. He is a highly sought-for conference speaker known for delivering specific practical solutions grounded in scripture and research that drives measurable results. Hosted by major tertiary institutions, churches, and organizations in Ghana. Honored by various universities in Ghana, including the University of Ghana, University of Allied Sciences, University of Cape Coast, and Ghana Technology University College. Recognized as one of the top 100 speakers in Ghana in the year 2019. Counselor Adofoli has been featured on various media platforms as a guest on many televisions and radio stations, both local and international. He is a frequent speaker and commentator on relationship and marriage counseling, stress and anger management, gift and talent development, leadership, sex parenting, and conflict, etc. Through his seminars, speaking engagement, counseling, and writing, he has motivated and positively influenced thousands of people globally. To him, counseling is not a profession, but a ministry, and he is committed to making relationships beautiful and godly. He has authored a book called Date Wrong, Marry Wrong, and he is also a minister of the gospel. He's married and blessed with 2 sons. He has an interesting way of saying it. He has 2 daughters in heaven and 2 sons on earth. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, help me with a standing ovation. Our last speaker for today, Counselor Adofoli.
Please take your seat. All right. Thanks for having me. I'm most grateful. I'll try as much as possible to be short in my delivery. All protocol reserved. Asafo, thanks for the good job. And when we were growing up, I wish we had conferences like this to go and learn about relationship, leadership at home, and so forth. But we don't. So we are doing a good job. So those who can support, please support. Hello? All right, so I'll start with the home. When we talk about leadership, many a time people are talking about the corporate world, the organization. But the first leadership crisis we had was between Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And this story has put us in a bad light as at now, and we are still struggling. So I'm taking us home, and maybe start from creation up to today's home. What are the issues we have faced, and what we can do to remedy some of this stuff. So starting, somebody asked, who is a leader? So being a Christian, coming from that aspect, a leader for me, being a Christian, we are following Christ. So Jesus Christ is our leader. So who is our leader? What can we learn? So John 10:11 says something. I'm a good shepherd. And what does a good shepherd do? He laid down his life for what? The followers. So a Christian must know that Christ is our leader. And we have to learn from Christ. So coming back home, and we have been asking ourselves question, who is the leader at home? And these have been some of the competition. These days, we have some identity crisis when it comes to leader at home. So let's start from Adam's story. So we were told in Genesis 1 that God created man, and this man was male and female in one body called Adam. And Adam was placed in the Garden of Eden to keep this garden and maintain it. Along the line, God realized that Adam was lonely and need a friend or companion or a helpmeet. So God put Adam to sleep. And he took part of or side of Adam to form a woman, a helper, a friend, a companion, a wife for Adam. So the two became a family. But before the woman came in, God gave Adam some specific instructions that in the garden we can enjoy everything, but there's one particular tree, don't go there. Adam was aware. And Adam was there when the wife came. And the wife got Adam this fruit and even enjoy it and give to Adam, and Adam also enjoy it, forgetting that God has cautioned him not to eat this. And this is something I want us to take from. So right from that place, God realized that man has been disobedient. So man lost his place in the Garden of Eden. And there was a curse pronounced when you go to Genesis 3. I don't want to do plenty Bible here. And the curse was that you, the woman, it started with the woman, for what has happened, you have a painful delivery, childbirth. And not just that, you desire to control your husband. A husband will try to rule you. Today, what do we see at home? Marriage is tending to be a competition between a man and a woman. And those who are not married, who are even single, sometimes their understanding about marriage is different. As if I have to fight a man. And sometimes we go on the social media, we see some different kind of groups, and it's all about a battle of the sexes. I am always on social media. I use that as a tool to reach a lot of people. And I've been doing that for long years. You write about men who are my fellow friends, about women, that look, learn something about women, then the men come and they're angry. You are speaking for women. So if you are married to a woman and then you have a problem with a woman, I'm giving you a solution to fix your relationship. Do you come and fight with me? And when you write, giving woman something about a man, there's another fight from that angle. So we are fighting each other. And we have that perception going to marriage. So we Christians, we want to have a change. But even before the change, all of us are not here, no Christians. But let's come down to the house. And let's see another different thing we see in the house. Again, culturally, we have been raising men and women for marriage. Look at how we raise the men. The men those days, not today, long time, the men were raised as people who go and look for money and bring home, and the women take care of the home. So those were the circumstances. So gone are the days, if you even go to the farm, the load given to the man is different from the load given to what? The woman. When we come home, the duty at home, what is given to the man is different from what is given to what? A woman. So that's the orientation. And then the women were not even allowed to go to school. It was most of the men who were allowed to go to school and look for money and so on and so forth. And when they are going to the marriage is based on their needs. If I'm not working and I'm at home, and I need money, who will give me money? Either my father or my brother, right? But if I'm of age, I'm being married to a man because a man is going to bring me money to take care of myself. So there were some duties, what we call duties, based on who we are as male and female. So even as at now, at home, men believe that there are some things you cannot touch. Sounds like cooking. When you cook, it's like you are turning to be what? A woman. The women believe that when you have money, you don't give money. Because when you give money, I'm being a what? The man in the marriage. This is something that has been going on for a long time. So let's look at the olden days, the circumstance. If those days, the circumstance compare men to go out and work in school, and the women at home taking care of the home. If today, the women are now going out and they are working, they are schooling, do you think the circumstance is the same? So if the circumstance is not the same, wouldn't the need change? Let's take out ourselves. If you are in school, as in a college now, if you're looking for money, maybe money for materials like your books, handouts, and stuff like that, when you are done with school and you are working, you are earning money. Maybe the money you are earning, what you take care of is different. You don't buy materials for school anymore. It could be about rent and so on and so forth. So any time that the circumstance change, our needs what? Change. And then our circumstance will tell us who we are, what our needs are. So we are growing, we are being in different dispensation now. Our circumstances are different, but we have refused to let go some identities. And that is creating trouble at home. So as at now, in various homes, we are fighting. Men and women who are married, as a family, there's always a competition at home between a man and a woman. And it doesn't make the marriage even a good thing for the child who is coming out to even learn from. So one of the things I wish that we all think through as one. If your parents, those days, as we always compare, my grandmother's marriage was better, my uncle's grandfather's marriage was better. The reason why they were better because those marriages were meeting their needs at those times. So those days, respect and love was measured by what you do for me. So if a man goes out and brings money and take care of the wife and the children, that man is well respected. If the woman is at home taking care of the whole family, and that woman is well respected. Today, the circumstances are not the same. So if we are all working, then can I say that if I am a man, I am working, and maybe if something happened, I've lost a job or change of career, I'm not earning as much as I used to earn, and I have to support at home. And the support here is maybe clean the house, maybe cook, whilst my wife is not around. Does that make me a woman? But of course, people say, oh, you have turned me to a woman in that marriage. And the woman also say to the husband, now I am the one bringing in money, so you don't have to be a man anymore. So stop saying that you are the man. Get back and do the woman job. But what we are forgetting here is our home. It is our home. It's our family. Marriage gives birth to family. So when we take our children, nobody can identify parts of the children that this part of the child is mine, this part of your child is not yours. It's our child. So my goal here is if we are getting married, and we, those who are even in a marriage, understand that marriage gives birth to family. So your wife, your husband is your family. They are not somebody you brought in because of marriage. They are your family. Hello? Good. And again, the needs in the family, we need to underline those needs. We need to underline what? Those needs. Of course, there's this battle of who is the leader. Well, let's go back to the beginning again. So Adam, as I said, was created. Adam was a male and female created together as one being. So let's say that with the Genesis 2, we look like only the main figure who was working. The woman, that side was not even activated, so we were not hearing the woman until the man was put to sleep and the woman came out. So if the man was put to sleep and the woman was taken out of the man, then we can then say that the man gave birth to the woman. The first man gave birth to the first woman, right? Hello? Then we can also say that the first man's daughter is the woman. So if the woman is under somebody's authority, it's going to be about the man's authority, right? And again, before the woman came in, the man was given a job. All those animals who were created and brought to Adam, Adam was the one who named them. So today's marriages, there are things I want us to look at it. When people get married, there's this competition. Why is it that the man is the one always naming the children? I don't know whether I've heard of these questions before. You've not heard it before. Some even ask a question beyond that. Why do I have to change my name when I'm married? Have you heard that one too before? And people fight over it. The man is naming the children because that has been a job that has been given to me all this while. And that doesn't mean that you cannot consult the wife. Of course, we are family, we can talk about it. But this shouldn't be something we fight over. And again, why do women change her name? If you are in a house and your father is the head of that household, and you live under that household, and I want to get married to you, I go to the owner or the head of that household to ask for your hand in marriage. So when I come in, as I'm interested in you, I want to get married to you, it tells me, oh, this is my child. It's of marriage age, but let me ask from the child whether the child is ready to be with you. The child agree. What are the conditions? Some of the conditions that come up with in terms of the bride prices. Or maybe the child here, I've been taking care of this child. The child spent like 10 cedis a day. I'm just using that as an example. And let's say 300 Ghana cedis a month. Now that you want to come in for this child, to come and stay with you, what show that you can even take care of this child? So we are going to ask you to come out with what we call bride price. The bride price here is bring some items that the person might need in a couple of months or years. If you're able to bring that, it's assurance that you can be able to take care of this person. So when you even look at the bride price, most of the items on the bride price go back to the man who is getting married to what? The woman. Today, because of the lack of understanding, people fight over something like that. So assuming I get married to you and the bride price is big, we didn't talk about it. In my mindset, I've bought you. So when you come home, I see you like somebody I've acquired. Not somebody I brought in because I love you. And whatever I gave up for you was coming back to me. And this small mindset makes us see even our sisters and brothers better than our spouses in our mind. You will never realize this until when you have conflict. When you think that your wife spoke or showed some attitude towards those you call your siblings, and you think that, hey, how dare you spoke to my sister or brother this way? Because for you, you are a wife. You are a husband. Those people are what? A family. How can these two people become a family? When we come in with this kind of what? Mindset. Something that needs to be changed seriously when we are going to marriage. So the bride price we need to understand. Naming children is something we also need to understand. The leadership role, when we look at what we are looking at it, I'm using the saying as a Christian, I'm trying to use the same creation story. If Genesis 1 says, God said that let's create a man in our own image. God and who is talking? You know, God the Father and the Son. So God and the Son are talking. Let's create a man in what? Our own image. So the Son, the man has been created. So the head of this man is the Son. Hello? And this man, the woman was taken out of the man. So the head of the woman here is what? The man. And that's the hierarchy. But if I am giving birth to a child, and that child is somebody I love, I don't abuse the child. I take care of the child. I give the child the best. So why do we bring in wife and we say, I am the head of the family, but we don't listen to even the need of the wife? I am the head of that house. But when a person speaks about things they are not happy with, we find it uncomfortable. You are making excuse. You are dragging things. You are making matters worse. So many issues in marriages is all about needs. And the needs here is there's something that makes me happy, comfortable at that home. And I wish somebody would listen to me, understand me, and know where I'm coming from. And sometimes somebody is not there to listen to me, understand me, so I have a lot of resentment. So that kind of connection, communication, be able to plan how the family, we are not able to do that because of stuff like this. Right from even relations, when we are even courting people, the way we understand a marriage, from where we are coming, it even guide us to start a marriage on the wrong note. So the leadership at home is a huge responsibility. So if you're going to learn from the one that we are under, if the one we are under said that a good shepherd is the one who laid down his life for his sheep. And then when you go to Ephesians 5:25, when 5:25, when Paul was talking about the duty of what men should do, he repeat the same thing. Husbands, loves what? Your wife, just as Christ loved the church and did what? Lay down his life for what? He repeat the same thing. What does that mean to lay down your life for other people? In our country here, if we are talking about head cut now, things are not working. We expect even the leader should start with the sacrifice, right? And we don't see it. We don't see that. So sometimes we don't even believe in the politicians. Campaign season is coming. Sometimes people see them, it's their season. When it's time for us to vote, sometimes it's just false. to go and vote because we don't even believe in them anymore. The same attitude is coming down to the house. The same attitude that when we men who wanted to be the head of the home, we are not taking the interest of those who are following us seriously, we have a trouble. Because if I am the head, and the rest of, if I'm the head, the man is the head, the rest of the body is the woman. If you see a head who doesn't take care of the body, do you think the two of them can align? Can they work together? And if they don't work together, that relationship is dead. If you see a head who has no body, that head is a dead head. So if you see a man in a marriage who is not seeing himself as a man anymore, that relationship is almost dead. So our role here is we are not there to boss, lead in a way that makes the one following you uncomfortable. The aim here is to make the one following you know that you are loved. And we show that when we are courting them. I know men, when you are meeting a woman, sometimes the things you do just to get their attention, the little gifts, going out, all what you are trying to tell the woman is, I love you. I care about you. And when a person agrees, in her mind, this is a man who loves me, who cares about me. So when you come to the marriage and the man say, hey, have you seen a politician who won the election is campaigning anymore? So I'm not going to campaign. I'm married to you. What I want is what I do. Then he started thinking, this man, I think or believe or have a fear that the man loves me. The man does not loves me. And when that thought starts coming in, I'm telling you, the woman starts listening to other people instead of the husband. And imagine what happened from the beginning in the garden. When a woman listened to the serpent and had advice and believed what the serpent said because it was seeking for wisdom, knowledge, and got that information, ate the food, and gave it to the husband. The husband ate it, there was trouble. So many of us, I'm starting with the men, I'll come to the women. Many of us, if you look at your relationship, if your wife or your woman is not listening to you, the question you have to be asking yourself is, who are they listening to? The one they are listening to have a huge influence on them. And if they are not listening to you, why are they not listening to you? Why are they be complaining? What are they been saying that you are not comfortable with? And some of the things is not that they are saying you are a bad person. What are they saying that there's something I need, I want from you, or I want from the relationship. I'm not getting that. That's why they are protesting. I've seen people in a relationship. Very soon, somewhat in the lady will ask for breakup. Sometimes not a breakup he's looking for. If you are not going to make this thing work, I better go away. It's just threatening you. They're threatening the form that let's make the thing work so that we can get back in line. We're seeing marriages now, wives are singing divorce every minute. And husband feel very uncomfortable. What they are just saying that if you're not making it work, then probably we should look for the exit. But deep within them, they are not looking for the exit. They just want somebody who take out the leadership position and say, look, this is not working. Let's make it work. So, man, I'm challenging you. If we are going to be a leader in that home, we have to lead by example. If you are in an office and your colleagues are happy with you, at home, is your spouse happy with you? One thing I learned from Prof was at this age, 75 years, I keep on saying something good about the wife that I'm even going home and one of the best jobs I have is to go and take care of my wife. And this is something that speaks volumes. And when you do things for your wife or your own family, look, you feel good. It opens doors for you. So men, our wives are not our slave. Our wives are not people we acquire. Our wives are people we love, we cherish, and we brought in. So just as they look, when we saw them very beautiful, it is our duty that we have to work on them, help them become better. And woman, one of the things that can make a woman very vulnerable is when he's in love with a man. They can do all the crazy things. I'm telling you. They can even sell their parents' property and give the money to you. So if you make her feel love, she's with you. She listens to you. She follows you. You do your bidding for you. So let's start by listening. It's a key word. Not listen to reply, listen to understand. Don't pretend that you are listening, because when we are listening, sometimes what we are doing is talk. I'll hear you. But let's talk by listening, and listen with your eyes, all the senses. And let me flip with the woman. The man that you are bringing in, you are not in a competition with the man. It is your own head you are choosing for yourself. So if you think you don't like the person, you don't go for the person. But once you go for the person, you have to submit to whatever leadership what you brought in on you. But the things I don't want you to accept is the bad things, what the person does. So if the person is doing something at the beginning of the relationship, let the person know how you feel, what you are not happy about. Talk about you. Don't go accusing, attacking, blaming. Sometimes we wait. When we are not happy, when we are angry, then we add all the emotions. And sometimes some men cannot even stand it. They leave the house for you. And with my work I do, I meet couple every blessed day. And sometimes I move from the house early in the morning, as much as 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, somebody is looking for you. And the way the person is so eager, you wanted to go and look at the person, what is wrong with the person? And I'll share a few ones. Just a few days. A huge man. I don't even know the person. The person spoke to me, book appointment. I went to the place. The person is even parked in the office waiting for me. And he came in. Why are you not happy? Why do you look this way? It looked like you not even slept well, because how the person even look. And they started talking, having a conversation. And what is surprising me is not that the married man is unhappy because of the wife. It's unhappy because of a side chick. Hello? It's unhappy because of what? A side chick. And I'm asking, why are you not happy? And we could talk for almost 2 hours. The needs, the things they are looking for, they are small, small things. But just to have the courage to initiate them at home is difficult. Because it doesn't feel good talking about it. But he has met somebody elsewhere, they're able to establish that. But on one hand, the other person has met elsewhere know that this relationship is not secure because you are hot, married. So he's also looking for someone else. So he's getting a broken heart. Meanwhile, he can come home and implement this at home and make it work. But he doesn't know how to go about it. Today, he was coming because he has had a broken heart. He cannot sleep because of the side chick. Not that he's coming in to fix the marriage, that he thinks he's no more happy in the marriage. Why would he not do that? And sometimes we avoid things like counseling. We think that he's going to look for advice, somebody to advise me on what to do. So I'm a man enough, I'm big enough. And sometimes I ask you, when your car spoils, in the middle of the road, who do you go to? You call your technicians, right? Your mechanic. Why do you call them? They have a certain knowledge you don't have. So they help you fix your car. You don't fix the car. In every department in this life, there's somebody who God has been blessed or given much. When we are talking about finances, Uncle Paul is talking right now, you could just hear a lot. That's, you've been hearing somewhere, but there's something else he has added that just blow your mind. Oh, wow. When prophets are talking, you could hear something different. There is somebody out there at every corner in our life that we can access this information or help, but out of pride, out of our own orientation or definition or whatever it is preventing us from doing that. So the marriage is a good thing. By making it work is something that is your sole responsibility. And I keep on telling people, marriage is not endurance. So if you are enduring your marriage, please rethink. Hello? If you are enduring, I don't know what to say. Maybe that's what it is. And you are making this as a prayer topic. Every day you are praying for a husband. Every day you are praying for a wife. Because some of the prayers we are talking about is about attitude. It's about behavior change. It's not about some demon changes. No. So if your marriage is not working, it's about the two of you working on it. And then when we come home, as we are talking about home, it is our home. So whatever we are doing, whatever we want to do, take the leadership position. Let your wife know that, look, I love you, I brought in. And we are working together. Let's have that understanding. And the people we want so much to be happy in a marriage, sometimes our children. But when the children come in, we ignore our spouses. And that's a big thing we do. Sometimes the child responsibilities has become just a responsibility of the one parent, especially the mothers, not the fathers. Why is it so? And something we need to change. So right from the home, we agree that the man is the leader, a leader by example, leader who leads by loving. The wife is not the enemy, it's not somebody who's bullying. The wife submits to that leadership. And submission to that leadership means that I listen to you, we work together, we plan together, we make our house work. That understanding has been established. What are the things, again, we can do to make this marriage work from that end? Raising our kids. What do we have to do about this? Where you are coming from, what are things that have influenced you in terms of parenting? Where did you grow up? What were the things that you enjoy? What are the things that you didn't enjoy, you had an issue with? We can have that conversation, and me and my spouse can come up with the kind of home we want, the kind of children we want, how many children we want, the age interval, the schools they want to attend, what kind of investment or what kind of planning we want to do. We can do that. It's not like one person sitting down and just taking a decision and imposing it on another person. It won't work. Hello? It won't work. Again, with the issues of identity, I know some people have a huge issue with sense of self. Somebody call it not just a pride. Like if I listen to you and take some suggestion from you, it means that I am no more the man. I know a lot of men have that kind of issue. If you're a leader and you take instruction or advice from other people and add yours to it, it doesn't make you less of a leader. You don't lose that position. So I'm pleading with her. The parenting depends on no matter the children we want, how we want to raise the child. It depends on the two of us. That means you have that kind of conversation. Those going to the marriage, relationship-wise, when you meet somebody, let's start talking about it. We are good at courting. The courting stage, we don't talk. Sometimes we leave the important conversation without talking about it until we get into the marriage, then that comes out and we are not happy with it. So let's talk about everything as much as possible. If you are with someone, the person is telling you that, look, when we get to marriage, you get to know. Please, if you don't know it now, when you get to the marriage, when you know it, that might even end the marriage. So let's have a conversation on that. Again, get it to the marriage, and we are talking about raising children. Children learn from us, our own behavior, our attitude, the way we behave. So if your partner is complaining about something that needs to be worked, if you are not working at it, in a few years to come, you see your children doing the same, like behaving a certain way that you are not happy with. And so that we end up punishing the children when we are doing the same thing. Again, the core values that we want these children to pick, we should be able to practice them at home. Thank you. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I appreciate these things. We want it in our children, but the thing is, we don't even speak it. There are people in a marriage, it's so hard for them to even say sorry. The mother or the father have not said sorry before them before, but they want the child to say sorry to someone else. It doesn't work that way. So your value, what you value, you should be able to be practicing them at home. Again, when the children are up now, and maybe before the pregnancy, antenatal is something that we should go together, go to the hospital together. Don't send the men, lead by example. Don't send a woman to go to the hospital whilst you are at work, and then you call, how was the hospital? Go together. And then what the nurses do is, when they see you with your spouse, they even fast track. You come in first. They even attend to you than those who came alone. So please go with your spouse. Listen to the instructions. At least sometimes forgetfulness is there. You'll be able to remind them on what to do, what not to do, what to take, and so on and so forth. And help them. That's part of leadership. And again, when the children start schooling, they start schooling. Please, it's not one person's duty. If your job is an important part of our life, and maybe in the morning, my job will not allow me to drop the child. What we can do in that home is we can pick a piece of paper and list activities that we need to do, and look at what each of us can do to help. Somebody can take the child to school in the morning. Somebody can go and bring the child from school after work. And going to the school with the child is something I wish that parents enjoy those activities and picking the child. And can have a conversation. How was school? Talk to them. There are things you see that amaze you. But if you don't do that, it's a big deal. It's just last week when a parent visited me in the office. And this all happened. Somebody we had been sending to take the child to school and bring the child back brought the child home and realized that the child had a cut here. And he asked, what happened? So when the child saw me, the child was running towards me and the child fell. And the mother said, hey, the child fell, there's no wound, there's no anywhere, but just here. How? And later when he went to the school, apparently the child went to the washroom alone. And at the washroom, he fell on the water closet. And that's where the child had that hot cut. And this is somebody who knew what happened in school, but covered it, will not tell the parents. But after days before the parents got to know it. But if you are involved in your child's life and you have a conversation, the child will even tell you some of these things as soon as possible. If you have to go to hospital, you have to change the school, there's something that has to be changed or enforced, that can be done. Homework, when the children come, we should be able to participate. It's not one-man job. Let's work together and help the child with that. These are activities that the children create memory out of it. They look up to it. The phone, the screen time, these things, we can manage them. But see, leaving the child to just the phone, take the phone, manage it, and you are doing something else, you end up letting the child be alone. There's nothing like communicating, bonding. And the time will come, the child becomes so isolated. In Accra now, the way we live like landing. That somebody who is closer to you, you don't even care about the person doesn't care about you. If you are here today, your neighbor who is not safe, somebody can go and rob you. And you get home and nobody is there even to say, hey, I saw somebody here or there. And the same kind of people, we are actually bringing them up in marriages. So I'll plead with you. Your children are your assets. The good books, they are our inheritance. They are so special. So what we give to them is special. From food to the knowledge. Your parent, as a parent, your children should be somebody that you value, that whatever information they get, you are the source of it. How do you become the source? Become their friend. So you can check the kind of words they speak, what they do, and what they watch. Sometimes at home, what I do with my kids is I watch a cartoon with them to know the language that is spoken. What are the characters? What are the actions, behavior? Are they bringing some foreign thing that my child will pick and which I will not know? I watch the cartoon with them. Know some of these characters, these are languages and so forth. So there was a day that I left the child, and when I came, they were doing this Big Brother advert on the TV. And he was reading and seeing the same thing. Say, hey, that's a bad content. It's not good for you. I said, really? Yes. Why? Oh, because they are adults who don't do good things, so don't watch it. I said, okay. Next time I'm there, and I saw the content comes, Daddy, change the channel. This is bad content. It's able to learn that from me because I was being observant. Imagine I wasn't around. You could pick this thing and go to school, and then this conversation goes on. So what they watch, what they eat, all these things are important. Their primary caregiver is you. If you are not there for them, there's nothing else. Because in Ghana here, what I've seen is we use the children for care of. Somebody will tell me that the child is so important to me. If you care, you can leave and leave my children for me. As if the person who is saying that really, really can take care of the children when the other parents would leave. Some will tell you, because of the children, don't divorce, stay there. And when we stay there, our relationship is not good, so we are always fighting every blessed day. And the children pick out the bad ways, the things we say. Sometimes we tell the child, go to the room, be in the bedroom, and we are in the hall, and we turn that place to the resting place. And they can hear the words and things that we do that we don't know. In the few years to come, these words come back, these actions and behavior come out. So with the parenting, what I'm pleading with you, whatever you are imparting to your children, start from you. Look at your life. If there's something that you need to change or work at it, there's something about you don't like it, look for help. And if you get a help, you save your child the trouble. When it comes to managing finances at home, one of the trouble I've had is because people come into the marriage with kind of different understanding. The thing that my home is not your home. You are just part of the family, like the third citizen. And sometimes it's easier to divorce or sack the person because it's a third citizen. But when we have the mindset that we are together, this is our home. Our money is our money. My money will be bigger than yours, but it is our money. So if we are planning, we can talk about what we want to do. And right for those who are even coming to the marriage, who don't talk much, let's start talking about money. Talk about the assets. The assets here is the savings, your investment. Let's have a conversation. What are you bringing to the marriage? Let's talk about debt. People don't like talking about the debt and their liability. The MOMO, NTM MOMO, the student loan, the car loan. Let a person know who you are, where you are, the rare person they are getting married to. Don't create an impression that you are so and so, and they'll marry you for that person, and then in the marriage realize that you are not who they claim you are. And that's a huge disappointment. So let's talk about the finances, those who are getting married. The assets, the liability, your goals, and sometimes the beliefs we have around money. As a Christians, we believe that 10% go into tithing. Yes, we do investment, 20%. 70% might be for what? The expenses. Sometimes people even do more, less than that, 60%, and take 10% to the family and stuff like that because they are contributing to the other siblings. That is fine. Those are your beliefs. When you come to the relationship, talk to your partner where you are coming from, your belief, what you do with your money, so that we can agree on what works for us in the marriage. And as time goes on, when there's any transition, we are aware about it. But when you keep these things to yourself, that it's just my money, the day that you need a help from the helper will not be able to help you because they doesn't even know what to do with your money. I have seen a lot of men who had a good intention for their wife, married them, took care of them. Some even took them to the university, helped them establish. Along the line, when their job went down, their spouse had enough money to bear and have businesses out there, and they will not share those businesses or even the proceeds with their husband. Because when a husband was with them, what they do with their money, they don't talk about it. They don't share details. When they ask, they don't want to talk about it. And this is not something that we can do in today's marriage if we want a marriage to work. So the finance, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the goal. If you have any goal, that's fine. The lifestyle. As we are talking about, somebody wants to travel to Dubai, but have no investment towards Dubai. I've met some couple like that last year. And when they start a marriage, the mindset of the woman is, I'm going to save. At the end of the year, I'll travel to Dubai and I'll go for vacation. The husband's mindset is different. Half of travel is not in my plan. If God wants me to travel, God will give me some bonus or some money will come through. Until that time, I will not. The wife had a plan that my lifestyle is one day I want plenty money, so I've started businesses. The cars I want big cars. Maybe let's say the 4x4, the black one. It wants something like that. The man's mindset that if I get a small car which can take him to work and come, low fuel consumption, I'm good to go. The woman's mindset is, I want a big house to live in. The man's mindset is, a small house is somewhere else. Okay, we have not had this conversation. Now we are in a marriage. The wife is comparing the husband to other men who are getting a big house, who are doing the big things. You will come and say, this land here is selling for this. This investment is going on. Let's go for it. The man will not share the idea. He's not talking to the woman about this. And anytime the woman brings out, you feel very intimidated or not comfortable. You won't talk about it. Today, they are talking about divorce. What a woman is saying that I'm married to somebody I think is not compatible. because the person is not serious. Meanwhile, the man is serious. Maybe from where you are coming from, your orientation, how you see things are different. We can talk about it, then we can do renegotiation or even adjust to where we want to be. So I'm pleading with us, money is something we need to talk about it in a marriage. Our money, it's not your money or my money, it's what? Our money. If the percentage or whatever you are bringing in, if it's 90% and your spouse is just 10%, it's still what? Our money. And don't forget, it's our home. The same way the things we do at that home is our home. So if one day you come home and because your spouse is not in and you have to cook, I'm cooking for our home. And if I cook it, it's not even the best of the food. When they are eating it, it's our food. They will not because I complain. But when we have the mindset that, look, this is mine, this is yours, and so forth, we'll have a big trouble. Two are always better than what? One. And if we are in a marriage and the two people are competing, it's better we are not even what? Married. So finances, we need to change the way we approach it. In terms of how we use money, we need to think about it well. Things about budgeting is something people don't do. Couples who are married, they don't plan anything about budget. How much are we spending? Have you looked at our expenses? When Uncle Paul is talking, he was talking about taking note of a lot of things. And this year, one of the things we were saying, I started doing, I realized there was a huge change. I was so surprised the data I've been spending money on. And I asked myself, so I was throwing money away like this. So the little thing that we do, let's be able to list these expenses. Husband and wife can sit down. We are listing expenses, the things we spend. Don't say the wife should go and do it or husband and wife should go and do it. Let's list them. So right from your end, we list your end, list on the other person's end. We list these expenses. How much do we have in terms of income? Let's list this. When we take the expenses out of the income, what is left? If the income will not be able to cushion it, is that what can we do? Are we adding another business? Are we reducing some things? It gives us an idea of what we are doing. Those who are on salary, as we are saying, sometimes we think our money is small. So why should I even go and plan? I'm praying to God. It will push us through. So we don't do much of these things. And that might cause trouble for us. So I'm pleading with us. Again, there are markets which are around, plenty markets. Sometimes when you are buying in bulk, you even save money than when you are buying them one by one or a piece to a piece. So look at the market. On Sprinters Road where I stay, when you are climbing, the price of items are high. When you are coming down, the price of items are down. And besides that, recently I got to know that there's a place called Underbridge where there's markets. When you go and buy at the bridge, in fact, you bid the price down times divided by 2. So weekly, or sometimes 2 weeks, we know what we want to buy out of our budget. We go and buy, and we save money because of that. So there's money to save towards the future when there's also trouble. Something like food that we feed our children. Sometimes the easier ones that we say, oh, there's Cyrac, I can just try it and then run away. But sometimes the cost of these things are high. Have you tried the Tom Brown? Have you tried the homemade, which can save money for you? This whole thing is about just planning. Because if you want one person to do it, sometimes their focus, their mind, their job, all these things are taking a huge toll on them. But when we are a family and we are planning to do this, it makes it easier for us to do it. Sometimes it's not even doing it at home. We can go for a walk. We can even go out for a date and carry our book. And then at that place, different environment, we can do these things. It's easier to do that. Please let not us feel uncomfortable when we are planning our home. If you have the fear that the person that you are married to will not like you, or you have the fear that the person you are married to, when they get to know a certain details about you, will cause a person to have different perception about you, I'll plead with you and your spouse, try and see a counselor who can be of help to you so that the person can engage the two of you so that you can be able to understand each other and create a safe space to be able to share in your marriage space. Lastly, I'm just wrapping up. Marriage, as we are saying, have the power to give us a lot of joy, and they also have the power to give us a lot of pain, a lot of trouble. And as we are in it, it is our duty to work at it, that we don't wait for things to break down. So what are the things I will recommend for you is, maybe let's put it in a week, that in our marriage, once in a week, we can have something we call staff meetings. This is a staff meeting between husband and wife. What are we talking on that very day? Weekly, the things that we have been doing very well, let's compliment each other. Let's point to each other that we are doing well in this department. What are the things we think that we need more work to do? I think this area we can work more. Let's point that, look, I think we can do that more. If there's any way I can help you, let me know. If there's any suggestion, we can do that. If we can be examining this relationship or review it every week, you realize that every day the relationship grows. The relationship grows every blessed day. The other aspect that I also encourage us to do is, when we have conflict and we are angry, we don't have the best of the conversations. Because anger and wisdom, they don't work together. Anger and wisdom do not work together. Even when you are even getting angry, you know it. You know you are overwhelmed. You know there's something going wrong with you. Sometimes the thing we want to do is, we think that the other partner, which in our mind is causing us to get angry, should stop behaving in a certain way. Then our anger will calm down. So sometimes somebody say, Chasu, stop it. You know you're provoking me. I say, stop. And then it escalates. I seen a guy who came to my office last month, beat the wife mercilessly. I asked him, why will he beat your wife? A gentleman like you. Also, Counselor, he has caused me to beat her. And I asked, have you been beating your children? I said, no. I asked, why don't you beat your children? I said, I swear an oath to God that the way my father treats me, I won't treat my children like that. He said, hey, your own children, you won't treat them like that. What did your father do? So your father used to beat me. Fine. But this one is not your child. It's not your family member. Is that how you are beating? Also, this one is old enough to know when to stop, when not to stop. So when I say stop, it should stop. But the father didn't stop. She provoked me to beat her. So it is her problem. It's her cause. So I want her to take responsibility that the beatings that has happened, she caused me to beat her. And I'm asking her, when you were getting angry, didn't you know? I said, I knew it. So according to her, I just walk away and say, my dear, I'm getting overwhelmed. So let me just take a break. We will talk about this in 1 hour time, in 60 minutes time, in 2 hours time. Can't you do that? I said, that didn't come to my mind. So I'm pleading with us. All of us get angry sometimes. We get frustrated. We are not happy. That is fine. But you see, when you are feeling a certain way that you feel negative and you start talking, you bring out the negative out. So when you are getting angry, please ask for time out. Tell your spouse that I want us to have this conversation in the next 1 hour, 2 hours. That will be the best time for me to calm down. That can also save a lot of the trouble that goes around. Because when you insult each other, and go and ask someone to come and apologize for you, it doesn't take away what has happened in the past. And sometimes they don't trust you because they know that when the person leaves, the same thing will happen. And sometimes they even say you are forgiving based on the person, not because of you. And you don't want your spouse to lose trust for you because of things like that. Lastly, ending. In our communication, we can do better when we avoid the issue about complain. Complain, what is complain? Complain basically means that your spouse or partner did something an hour ago, a minute ago, or in the past that you are not happy with. So you are protesting, you are talking about it. That is fine. But when you talk about it, the partner feels powerless. There's nothing I can do about it. It has happened already. And we can complain that in the first week of the marriage, there's a behavior happening or repeating itself for almost 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 year, 2 years. And we will complain, nothing changed. How do we turn this behavior around? I request that you go through what we call request. Instead of complain, make request. Request is empowering your partner. So I'll give you an example of that. If maybe in your conversation, your partner shouts at you, the raised voice, and you feel uncomfortable, and you'll be complaining, for you are always shouting at me, you make me uncomfortable. Probably what you can let your partner know is, I have loved when you are talking to me, the voice calms down. Maybe I feel uncomfortable. You are making a request. It's about bowl or dishes. When you eat, you don't wash it. You go and throw it. You go and put it there, and the person is complaining. Every day, you don't wash your dish. We can make a request. The request is, I have loved that tomorrow, make a little time for yourself so that you can wash the dish. That can help me. At least there can be a negotiation. But your partner will not feel powerless. At least there's a change in mood. So there are lots we can also change in our marriage by making a request instead of what? Complain. So whether in terms of leadership, the way you and your spouse are relating, if it's not working, let's make requests. In terms of parenting, the way you and your spouse are going about it, if it's not working, we can make a what? A request. When it comes to money, the way you are managing it at home, if it's not working, we can always make what? A request. And when you make a request and they're able to put in action, let's appreciate them. Let them know that we appreciate the effort they put into it. All right? Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Counselor Adofoli. Wow. Today we've been imparted, we've been inspired, and we are ready. We are ready to very soon. Shortly we'll be doing the question and answer, so we'll invite the speakers to come sit here so you can fire all the questions so that they can answer all the questions for you. But before that, let me can we put up the social media handles? Can we put it up? Please take your phones. Let's subscribe right now. For Facebook, we have Christ-like Empowerment. Christ-like Empowerment. For Instagram, IG, we have Think Christ Move. For Twitter, we have Think Christ M. For LinkedIn, we have Think Christ Movement. For YouTube, Think Christ Movement. Please, if you are here and you don't subscribe to any of it, it's a sin. It's a very big sin. So please do that now. Do that now. You can do one or two of them. Do that now. If you do, just wave your phones. Wave your phones. If you do, we have all the time for you. Okay, all right, I see one at the back. Okay, I see another one at the back. I see one in the front. Yes, let's do that. Okay, we have them. Oh, so people are ready to sing? Or they're in the process of... In the process, please, let's do that. I think it's very important we are part of this so that every program you can be reached and invited. Have you been blessed? Have you been blessed? I'm starting a Kelewele business. I mean it. I'm not joking. I can walk into Nima, walk into Mamobi, walk into Kotobabi, Newtown, all that, and do my Reiki. Then I start my business. I think that it is a low-hanging fruit, and we've been imparted to do that. I will also go to Pomante to get some plan. See, there are some monies that we throw away. Friday night, we sit with people before you realize 200, 300 is gone. And when you sit in your car, you ask yourself, this one, how did it happen? I think that all these things can be planned for now. Think about it now, for 20 years, where you get 1 million. May us in the next 20 years get 1 million for people sitting here. You can say amen if you believe in it. But it takes a move. You remember the 50 cities thing. You don't sit there and say that, I want the money. That is why when he took the money, I came to stand by him. I would have jumped and collected it. Yeah, so we do a move. Okay, all right. So with what I do, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pomante, please take your seat. Counselor Adofoli, please take your seat. Then we take questions from you. We are coming to a wrap of our sermon, a sermon pack of sermons not just sermons, but tangible information that can change our lives from now to when we leave. Okay, all right. So, any questions to any of them? Any questions? Okay, all right. Okay, before that, I'll shoot my first questions. Paul, what can go wrong with investing? What can go wrong? And for instance, if I start on a plan of 500 a month, and along the line, I'm not able to do the 500 along the month, what can happen, and what is the mitigating effect?
Well, thank you. So when it comes to a plan and you are not able to stick to your plan, nothing happens. What it simply means is that for that particular month or those months that you did not invest, you miss out on those contributions accumulating interest for you. Or so whatever is in investment will keep building up interest. So it's in your own interest to make sure that you are committed. But generally, I mean, when it comes to investment, like all other things, it comes with some risk. Current haircut, even though it's something that is unprecedented, is a risk. You can have things like interest rate risk, where you have a certain expectation, you don't get it. Inflation flying through the roof means that you'll be getting returns that will not be enough to compensate you for inflation and all that. So investment comes with some risk, but on the specific question you asked, you only miss the interest on the contributions. Those particular months.
Thank you very much. That's 1 year. Okay, right.
I'm in Okogo, and my question goes to Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, I want to know if I cannot invest daily by monthly by 100 cedis. With only 100 cedis, how can I invest that to get an interest on it monthly? And also the life assurance and proper investment. I want to know the difference. If I should invest the 100 cedis on life assurance or do the proper the financial investment.
Okay, thank you. I mean, when you look at the insurance, you are putting money away. When the unfortunate happens, then you are compensated. If it doesn't happen, too bad. It's the case that you can have a life insurance of, let's say, 50,000 cedis, and you are contributing 100 cedis a month, just for the purposes of explanation. And within a year, when you have invested only 1,200, that thing happens, you qualify for the 50,000. But you can also be doing the 100 the next 100 years if nothing happens. Insurance, you don't get into insurance to profit. You go into insurance to protect yourself against the unfortunate happening. When it comes to investment, it's something you are putting away for yourself, and whatever interest that builds up is for you. You don't have to do daily investment. I mean, investments are so flexible that whether you're doing monthly or even the monthly, you are not supposed to be committed, like you said. It's flexible. The thing is, you are building interest based on what is in the investment. So if I am doing 1,000 cedis and he decides to do 2,000, he's going to get more because his base is going to be bigger than mine. If along the way, even though he's doing 2,000, he did it twice and he stopped, and I keep doing my 1,000 cedis every month, eventually I'm going to be having more than he has because your interest is calculated on what is in the investment. Are you with me? So there is no rule anywhere that says the investment must be daily or even monthly. It's only on the insurance packages that you may have to commit something every month. But investment, you are not obliged to necessarily do something every month. It's in your interest to do it rather.
Okay.
Samantha, congratulations. I like your presentation. The
Thank
current domestic restructuring has actually affected the confidence level of a lot of Ghanaians in the banking industry. What are the banks doing practically to restore the confidence of potential investors?
Well, I mean, what the banks are doing is part of what I'm doing today. It's investor education, it's financial literacy, it's encouraging people not to make permanent decisions based on the temporary challenges we've gone through. This one too shall pass. I mean, so we need to, it's a difficult moment, I mean, very difficult moment. And for some people, it's their whole life that is being threatened. So on our part, there are decisions that we don't control. I mean, the bigger decision we cannot control. But what we can do is to keep educating our investors, encouraging them, and making sure that we are also doing the right things with the monies they are giving to us.
Okay, there's another one here. Okay, let's take this lady.
Okay, my name is Samaha Muhammad, a PR student of Unimac GID. My question is for the counselor. For somebody who has been betrayed before, who's had a very bad experience with marriage, is there any solution? Because I find it very hard to trust a man with my emotions. Is there any solutions to overcome my fear?
Yes, sorry to hear that. That might be very traumatic. Very sorry to hear that. So first, with you, I'll plead with you to stay for counseling or therapy to be able to deal with those fear, the insecurity, and how you feel. The next thing is, when you are ready to go into a relationship, start as a friend. See, a friendship gives us opportunity to get to know people. Sometimes we meet people and they start telling us about relationship, but we don't really know them. We don't really trust them. Sometimes the trust is based on what the person is saying, not what you have seen. So you are just creating some impression. It might look like this, like a dream. And later on, what you find out does not match those expectations or those dreams, then a disappointment sets in. So with the men, some of them, they will even observe you from afar. And before they approach you, they've gathered some data or some information to conclude that, look, you are the woman they want. But you, the woman, they don't even give you the opportunity for you to also get to know them. And sometimes someone will be putting pressure on you. The few people they know around will be asking them, hey, talk to this lady, I'm ready, and so on and so forth. To avoid all that, if the person comes forward like that, let the person know that, look, I am willing to give you the opportunity on the basis that I get to know you for myself. How do I get to know you? We can be a friend. A friend here is, we will talk about things, we can go on a date, we can spend some time on activities. On all these activities, I'm getting information, data, and other stuff. That will help me to make informed decision. If the person is also not being able to give you answers to some of the questions you ask, then unfortunately you cannot make decision based on that. So seek counseling for yourself, and then if you are ready, start with a friendship to get to know the person before you commit.
Okay.
So
before Counselor, I want to ask a question. In your presentation, you had mentioned that if for instance, your spouse shouts on you and you don't like it, and you want to address it, it is best to suggest the solutions. Or you even give an example of someone eating, one of the spouses eating and always not cleaning it, and you have to suggest that the partner makes time and washes the plate. Now, if you do that to your partner and it doesn't still stop, then you take it to the counselor. Then it starts for a while and it stops. What do you do?
So it's not a suggestion. I said I am saying that make a request. See, when you are complaining, let's say I drop the mic and you are talking about it, I feel powerless. Because it has happened already. There's nothing much I can do. But if you are making a request, please hold the mic well so that it won't fall. In this case, you are empowering me to do something positive. I don't feel powerless. So if you make a request and your partner didn't follow up, you could make one or two requests. But you see, when the thing is motivating the person, they make attempts at least to do it. And I say you can follow through and just compliment the person that, look, they've done very well. So that people do it and they watch the person's emotions. Small thing I ask you to do, look at how you have squeezed your face. Look at how you are behaving. But the person has made an effort. So instead of you to appreciate the effort, so next time maybe you don't even see this emotion or attitude coming up, the focus on the attitude than the person's change of what? Behavior. So let's pay attention to that. And again, getting to the counselor is not about advice. So now what the counselor wants to do is get in the mind of the person to know why the person behaves in a certain ways. Maybe from the childhood or what has caused it. We just have to know the reason so that we can be able to help the person unlearn those things and learn something new, which can also help the relationship.
Okay, all right. I'll come back to that. Okay, then, but let me take this one.
Okay, so every individual has his up and down moments. So as a leader, in times of troubles, what could you recommend to me if I'm facing in trouble and a quality that you recommend that I adopt so I don't take any unnecessary decisions?
All right, when you're going through something, and sometimes we the men, we would like to think through. And that's what the things that we were doing very bad. I mean, advocating men to speak, because men are dying. We like to think. Men are growing gray early. Men are losing hair early. And we know in Ghana, the women are more than men, right? But this today, when you're living, what the drinking spots and so on and so forth. Count the number of women there to the number of what? Men. Some of them they use substance, places like this, trying to cope up with things like this, which doesn't help. So if I'm going through challenges, one person I can go to is somebody I feel safe around to talk about. If your wife or your spouse become your best friend that you are safe around to speak about, it's easier. Uncle Paul like this is a best friend to the wife. The way the two go around things. There's no way you will be facing challenges and you will be able to speak to the best friend, which is what? The spouse. It's easier. So if you're a leader, you need to speak, you need to share. That's how you get a solution. Sometimes getting the right person to discuss with is a big deal. So if your spouse becomes your friend, you don't only share good news, you also share the bad news and how you feel. That person will not judge you, they will not neglect you, they will make you regret speaking to them about it. And that's the key thing. If you cannot get anyone around you, then I ask you to say for counseling or coaching. So within the coaching, the session, you'll be able to express how you feel, and the coach can also help you, in fact, formulate your ideas or come up with a better decisions.
Okay.
Yes, hello, good afternoon. My name is Daniel.
Okay, where is Daniel?
Please, I'm here.
Okay, Daniel, yeah.
My name is Daniel, and my question goes to a counselor. Please, is it good for a lady that you've met within a man to tell you that he has principles that she lives by? That within 6 months, if she meets a man and the man doesn't come to see the parents, she just moves on with her life. Is it good for you to continue a relationship with such a lady?
Fast track.
I say, Obusum now, or person who can so the idol who wants to stay with you tells you what he likes and what he doesn't like. I'm happy is being straightforward. There are some women that will not let you know. Within their timeline, they started giving you attitude, miss signal, and which is very confusing. So if it tells you in a relationship by 6 months or a year, if you don't come to see my parents, I'll move on. It's not about seeing your parents. That is the big deal. It's about knowing you and knowing that we can build something concrete before I go and see what your parents. So if that's what your principles are, let's make a goal to get to know ourselves well. What are the things we need to do to get to know ourselves? What are activities? Do we make time and talk? Let's do these things. Because if we don't know ourselves very well, maybe I won't be able to see your parents. And I don't want to lead you on. And sometimes they are saying this because of what has happened in the past too. They've been in a couple of relationships. People took them for granted. They didn't get to the last end of seeing their parents. So when he comes in, he's telling where I've been to. I don't want you to take him back to the class I graduated from. So please, take it easy and let the person know what you're also looking for, whether we can make time to do that.
Okay, the next. Okay, on this. Okay, let's have this one before we come to you. All right, you.
My name is Mr. Mensah. This my question goes to the counselor. Some women, they will go to marriage, but the man will be treating the woman badly. Instead of the woman to leave the man, he will say, oh, me, Is it proper for the woman to say that like that? Is it proper?
Okay, what he's saying is that some ladies are advised to leave a marriage which is not good for them, or they're being maltreated, but they stay in with the hope that they don't want to go and give birth to other people, but other than their husbands alone. So, is it right for them to do that or not?
All right, thank you. I'm married to Gan for years long, and I'm still learning. So if I perfect next time, I will answer you in Gan. All right, back to the question. You see, it's easier to tell somebody to leave when the person has invested so much time, effort, a lot of things together. If you are doing a business and you spend 100 Ghana cedis in it, and somebody is doing the same business, the person has spent 2,000. When you ask these two people to leave, the 100 can leave, but the 2,000 will be difficult for them to leave. So sometimes we know we care about the persons. Things are not going well. That's why we're telling them to leave. But another thing we can also do is help them to come to that realization that my life will be at danger if we don't change the way we are going. Can we get you and your spouse a help that we can go around, and the person will help the two of you to understand the situation in which you are in. Sometimes the husband and the wife don't understand each other. They are in different places in that marriage. What they think is the solution or the problem is not the problem, but it's not the solution. So it's not good for somebody who is in a relationship that puts their life at danger and stay there. It's not a good one. But if you can help the person, let the person say for counseling. Either he's doing that with the spouse, if the spouse will not go, let her do that alone. So in that process, you can come to the realization that this decision I'm doing for me, and this is what will help me. It's not what my family members are telling me. In this case, when they're taking a decision to leave, they know what they are going to, the consequences. So they are good doing that. So for me, I would say it's not a good place to be. But you have to also help them to realize that for themselves.
Okay, I would like to announce that we are still live on Facebook. Please, our social media handles, go there and subscribe so that we can keep in touch with you. Next question. I see that now the questions are not going to the white. It's coming to the blue. All right.
Ronnie, thank you for the opportunity. Having married with the experience, one of the suggestions I will give to all of us with respect to conflict resolution is sometimes we see the negative first before the positive. As a Christian, when you read the book of Revelation, the Bible mentions certain good things before the negative. So I will also plead with us and suggest, even though it's difficult, but see the positive thing in your spouse before you begin to back it with the negative. When it happens that way, it's seen as more of a constructive criticism than more of negative. Also, to the counselor, how will you advise the young ones that maybe are yet to enter into marriage? How would they be able to actually, genuinely, be able to deduce any hidden intention from their future husband or wife?
Wow. Okay.
It's a good question. And the answer is so simple, but sometimes we don't look at it that way. We all have somebody in our life, maybe we call that person a best friend. Now, when we come to the person is not even happy, and the person is pretending. We can see this person is not happy, or there's something wrong with the person. And this comes with a couple of time, years or months, to get to that place. So my first goal here is the foundation of every marriage is about friendship. Why can't we, people who are going to the marriage, start building that foundation of friendship? How do we go about this friendship? Within your day, there will be an hour or 30 minutes for us to have a conversation, to meet. Sometimes share the day. Which part of the day was exciting? Which part of the day was frustrating? What are the things that you like? What are the things you don't like? Coming from your family, where you grew up from, what are the things you see you are not happy about? We can talk about everything in as much as possible. And as the conversation grows, the relationship also grows. You get to know the person more. When you do this, the person does not even think twice by letting you know some things. But when this is not done, the person can even lie. If they are black, they say it's white. Because you don't really know them. So one way to get to know people is to be a friend. God wants being a father to us, one thing he desires for us to do is to become his friend. Not for anything, for the purpose that you can come to God and open up, talk to God about things that you are not able to talk to other people about it. So for me, I'll plead with you, the friendship is a key thing. You don't do it for a day or two, then you get married, stop. It's a lifetime thing. It's a habit we start, we don't end. And every blessed day, we add up to that.
Okay, I can take two more. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, 4. Let's take the 4, then we wrap up, and we are far behind time. Okay, so let's take you first.
Okay, I'm Vida. I have 2 questions. One on investment. Like, I would like to know the type of investment that we can do aside the treasure bill. Because I remember I went to do an investment. They talked to me and they told me about the percentage. But as time goes on, rather they started deducting my money as well. So I went for it. So I want to know the actual investment that I can do. And the second one is on the leadership. I know of someone who is married and is in the mother's house and wanted to be with the husband. The husband is also working elsewhere, far from Accra. But anytime she wants to be with the husband, there's an excuses. And moreover, their communication, how it used to be, now it's lessened. And the lady still wants to go, but the man doesn't want the lady to be there. So and the lady wanted to go on her own. So I want to know, would that be a disobedience? And also with the communication, at first it was working, but now it's not working. So what could be the cause of that?
Okay, all right. Yeah, the issue of hidden stuff.
Well, I don't know exactly what she invested in. And if they give you rate, normally it will be the rate at that time. Rates are not fixed into perpetuity. And the reason is that rate itself changes. For example, last year, first quarter of the year, treasury bill rates were around 12%. But within the year, it moved up to 35%. So, assuming that you were giving 12% at the beginning of the year, and now treasury bill is 35%, it won't be fair to you if they still keep the 10 when the thing is 35%. In the same way, at this moment, if you go in for treasury bill, you are getting 35%. But we all want rates to come down because it helps everybody. So you cannot assume that once they quoted 35 today, it means that the 35 is into perpetuity. I am not sure why they will do any deduction. Possibly it may be the mark-to-market Prof was talking about earlier on. The mark-to-market simply means that if you want to collect the money, you'll be paid based on the current prices of the underlying securities. But if you ask where to invest at the moment, what I would recommend would be the EDC retirement fund. We have a fund called the retirement fund. That is what I would recommend. And Eric is behind. If you talk to Eric, Eric would assist you through the process. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Counselor.
All right, so such, couple, they are already having an issue. And when you said breakdown in communication, they are not talking, there's an issue. So basically what you should do is pay a visit. Don't just move, pay a visit. Or you can be a surprise visit, that's not a big deal. Pay a visit. And when you pay a visit, let your spouse know how your relationship is now and the things we wish we could change or work around it. When those immediate issues is settled, the communication is better, then we can talk about moving in. But you don't just park and then go there when the person is not ready to accept you. And when you come, the person even makes you feel very uncomfortable or unwelcome. You will not be happy at that place. So pay a visit initially, and then we can resolve the issue about communication, why you are not communicating, why he's not happy, what's the problem. When we are done with that, then you can come in fully and stay. But then we can have a discussion on that.
Thank you. There are 3 here. The last 3, then we are done. There's 1 here. Okay. Then there are 2 here. Okay.
Good afternoon, speakers. I'm Tim by name, and my question goes to the counselor. What advice or solution would you give to someone who is non-confrontational? So there are scenarios where you want to address the elephant in the room, but you don't know how it's going to escalate, so you just leave it. And there are also scenarios where it reoccurs again, and you make flashbacks to say, oh, this happened before. And you have people say, oh, it happened, and you didn't even say anything for that small thing. So in scenarios, what advice would you give to someone who is not confrontational? Thank you.
All right. So when we going to talk about some issues, the way we start, sometimes it looks like we are attacking our spouse. Sometimes that's how they feel. And when they have the feeling that we are attacking them, they also fight back, or some distance, or they don't even contribute. Then we don't make any effort. So I'll tell you, we use what we call the I statement. The I statement simply means that talk about you, how you feel, own the experience, what is happening to you. Give your partner the opportunity to know how this whole thing is making you feel, without you going to attack the person like, you like this, you don't like talking about things, you like, no. How do you feel when this whole thing happens? What is happening to you? What are your experiences? Give your partner that opportunity to know how you feel, how you see things. They'll have empathy for you, at least to put themselves in your shoe and see things from your anger. Once you are not attacking them, the thing that you are not coming at them, it makes them easy. It makes it easier for them to give you room to listen to you. So I played with you. Use the I statement. Speak about you. Talk about your experience. Own it. Don't go and start with the person. You. No. I.
All right. Last but one.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Kofi Mensa. Mine goes to Mr. Paul. Mr. Paul, with respect to multiple streams of income, it happens that most times you are an employee, and when you want to venture into other multiple streams of income, based on your field, sometimes it may conflict with your work that you do. In such a situation, what do you do in terms of taking a decision to maybe quit your normal employment so that you can concentrate on other areas which can give you more income, so to speak? What do you do?
Thank you. Tricky. So we talk about multiple streams of income. I think I said this during the interview outside. In my presentation, I had to rush a bit because of the time. But you never use your employer's time or resources for your side hustle. It's unethical, it's unprofessional, it is wrong. So don't let somebody be paying you salary and you use their time to be doing your own business on the side. It is wrong. Then if what you are doing conflicts with what your employer does, my advice is that you look elsewhere. I don't think it is right to go and set up, even when you resign. I don't think it's right to go and set up to compete with your employer, because you are in that business and it's by the opportunity of that business that you have access to that information. You don't turn around and you use it against your employer. I think it's overstretched, but look elsewhere. Even the side hustles, my advice is to do something that will not conflict with what your employer does, and don't use your employer's time or resources to run your own thing on the side. Thank you.
Yeah. To add to that, it also goes against you spiritually, tremendously so. So last one. We have a last one here. Okay, right. Let's take it.
Okay. My name is Reginald, and the question is directed towards Paul. Considering the current economic situation we're having in Ghana, where investor confidence has become very, very low. Now, I've realized that most investors, they are a bit reluctant to go for their investments because they don't want to crystallize their losses. But I want to ask, as an investor, what would be the best time to fold?
So fold means withdraw?
Yes.
You see, so we need to be clear why we are even investing in the first place. There are people who are emotional investors. So they invest when the party is on. Everybody say, hey, Charlie, last year this fund did 30%. Then they go and join. When the thing is done, the thing is going down, hey, let me take my money out. Then they take their money out. There are people when this crisis started who took money out, and after a month, 2 months, they will come, Charlie, Sikano cry me when you are menfanyo. Magia, the whole means this Sikana say no. Because they acted based on emotions. So the first recommendation, and that is a recommendation to everybody, is that it's important to have a plan, financial plan. Be clear why you are doing what you are doing. It may be for your operation 1 million. To say that I want to make my first million in 10 years, in 5 years. There will be turbulence. The market will go up. Market always goes up. They come down. Like Prof said, that at the point his investment had gone down by about 60% or 70%. But market picks up. What we are going through is a bit of an outlier, but in 2008, 2009, during the global financial crisis, investment went through some crisis, okay, but we eventually bounced back. So I would say that let's not be emotional in our decisions, but cash out when you need the money. Don't just cash out because you want to beat the system. Because you are not happy. This people, there is mark to market. I'm not happy. A lot of people are taking out money now, and they are crystallizing the losses because they are taking the money out. So I would say, let's do purposeful investment. The reason why there are a number of investments I haven't even bothered to check what has happened, because the reason is not up. The reason will happen in 10 years, will happen in 5 years. So yes, market goes up, market comes down. But don't be emotional about it. When you have a plan, stick to your plan. Market goes up, stick to your plan. Markets come down, stick to your plan. There are times you may have to review the plan, but you are not reviewing based on emotions. Are you with me? So let's cash out when we really need it. Else you can cash and chop the money. You won't know what happened. Money that you save over a number of years, something happens, you're upset, you go and take the money, and then you will just blow the money. That is all the effort over years wasted.
In other words, make a decision.
Yeah.
And stick by the decision. Thank you very much. A round of applause for our speakers for imbibing knowledge, giving us very thought-provoking solutions, and giving us very good insight to affect us now and for many years to come.